The National Association of Negro Business and Professional Women's Club was originally instated in the state of New York, having been so incorporated in the office of the Secretary of State on the 25th day of October, 1940. The late Emma Odessa Young, a realtor from New York City and a member of the New York Club of Business and Professional Women, conceived the idea of a national organization of business and professional women in 1934. Unfortunately, Mrs. Young became an invalid and never sought to head the organization. Although an invalid, Mrs. Young's mind was alert and her interest was very keen. She was satisfied to witness the progress of the organization before her passing in 1944. In July of 1935, Mrs. Ollie Chin Porter, president of the New York Club, extended an invitation to local clubs organized as business and professional women's clubs to join and form a national organization. The founders were Emma Odessa Young, Ollie Chin Porter, and Effie Ditton of New York City, Bertha Perry Rhodes, Josephine B. Keene, and Adelaide Fleming of Philadelphia, and Goldina Pearl Flipping of Atlantic City. After a year of meetings, the first convention was held in Atlantic City, New Jersey on July 9th through the 11th in 1936 at the Asbury Methodist Episcopal Church on Arctic Avenue. Elected as the first national president was Mrs. Ollie Chin Porter. The aim of this newly formed national organization was then, as it is today, to attract women of high caliber to organize similar clubs within their communities. Facing the realities of the times, their daring and inspiring goals were to share their experiences and exchange information, to protect their interests, and to encourage and develop opportunities for Black women in business and professions. During this time in our history, Black people were called Negroes. Very few had businesses or professions. Many were still deep in the throes of depression. The fact that these Black women had the courage to found such an optimistic organization is astounding and a lasting testimony to their faith in themselves, our people, and the future. The founders were owners, managers, college graduates, and other professionally licensed women who had managed to realize some measure of personal success at a time when there was not a national movement to improve the lot of Black Americans, where there was no Black capitalism program, nor any Black studies curricula. Still, these women felt prepared to offer leadership. Over the years, NANBPWC Incorporated has grown in numbers and scope, conducting many needed community services, activities that go far beyond the original purpose. Women have come a long way, and so has NANBPWC Incorporated. I'm going to read to you the collect. The collect is a very important part of being in this sisterhood. Keep us, O Lord, from pettiness. Let us be large in thought, in word, in deed. Let us be done with fault finding and leave off self-seeking. May we put away all pretense and meet each other face to face without self-pity and without prejudice. May we be never hasty in judgment and always generous. Let us take time for all things. Make us grow, calm, serene, gentle. Teach us to put into action our better impulses, straightforward and unafraid. Grant that we must realize it is the little things that create differences, that in big things of life we are as one, and may we strive to touch and know the great common human heart of us all. And oh Lord God, let us not forget to be kind. Mary Stewart is the author of The Collect. The purpose of NANBPWC is to promote and protect the interests of business and professional women and to create good fellowship among them, to direct the interests of business and professional women toward united action for improved social and civic conditions, to encourage the organization of subsidiary organizations to be called Negro Business and Professional Women's Clubs throughout the United States and other parts of the world, and to create and develop opportunities for Negro business and professions. The organization is organized exclusively for charitable and religious, educational, and scientific purposes. Each organization or club, and we'll get into that in a little bit, must qualify to be exempt under 501c3 of the Internal Revenue Code. It is important that each club adheres to the 501c3 status. The mission statement, which is recited often during meetings as well as during conventions. The mission of the National Association of Negro and Business Professional Women is to promote and protect the interests of African-American businesses and professional women, to serve as advisors for young people seeking to enter business and professions, to improve the quality of life in our local and global communities, and to foster good fellowship. The National Pledge. This for sure is recited often during meetings. As a member of the National Association of Negro Business and Professional Women's Club, I pledge to become involved, to be constant, cooperative, enthusiastic, and concerned about the problems and social ills affecting the young people of my community. I will help to promote the interests of business and professional women and to invest in the willing service of others. So far, this presentation has spoken a lot about the importance of business and professional women, networking, uplifting each other, and advancing the profession and business for, again, African-American women. This is our logo or our insignia, and it is our official logo that you will see on our letterhead, in our advertising, on our items that we might have, like shirts such as you may see us wearing. This is the official logo, and it was approved in 1949. And not just anyone can utilize this logo. It has to be approved by the organization. How do we identify ourselves? NANBPWC Incorporated is within the name of all of our clubs. Each of us are referred to as club sisters. Sometimes we call ourselves BPW sisters. We have clubs, not chapters. As of October 2003, we were not named leagues anymore. Those with leagues names were waived. We have districts and not regions, and I will show you that on the next screen. We also have an international district, and it is associated with all of the districts. We have an NANBPWC Incorporated United Nations representative that is associated with the United Nations in New York City. The international governor is appointed by the national president and reconfirmed with each new president. The United Nations representatives are the national president, the international governor, and 3 alternate United Nations representatives. Each of them carry United Nations badges. So we are all over the world. We have national colors, red and yellow. Our national flower is the yellow tea rose, which represents friendship. We have an official publication that is sent to us from the national office on a regular basis, and it is called The Responsibility. Our official abbreviation, and you've heard me say it several times, is NANBPWC Incorporated. We have an official national theme, which is moving forward with a purpose. The national headquarters is located in Washington, D.C. Again, the organization was founded in 1935. The current location is in DC on New Hampshire Avenue. This slide depicts the districts, the different places where our organizations are sectioned across the country. We have a Mid-Atlantic district, North Central district, which is the district that Maumee Bay Club is affiliated with and falls within. The Northeast district. There's a South Central district, Southeast district, Western district, and again, the International district. Within the organization, there are various clubs. and memberships. So there is the adult member, the young adult member, life members. Those are ladies of the organization that have made a commitment, a special commitment and a special assessment to be life members. There are members at large. These members are part of the BPW organization, but they may be living in a space where there is no local club, so they are considered members at large. There are honorary members and there are corporate members. We also have Club Youth Division, which is portions of the organization that is very important. Our mission is to help support our youth in the community, and our youth clubs range from ages 12 to 18 years of age. They are also male and female. We also have a Beta Psi Club membership level, and that is when our students are in college. Also Beta Psi members at large, again, students who might attend college where there is no Beta Psi club. So we try really hard to have the youth join us at a young age, and as they get older, our ultimate goal is to have them become adult members. As I mentioned before, Maumee Bay Club is a part of the North Central District, and we tout ourselves as the mightiest of the mighty. Our current governor is Christina McLemore. On the national level, there are requirements that we are responsible for. Dr. LaTanya Conley, who also happens to be a part of the North Central District, she is the National First Vice President. The national program theme is leadership, entrepreneurship, technology, and service, also known as LETS. The National First Vice President sets the national program theme that each club is responsible for completing. In 2019 through 2021, our theme was Let's Make Your Strategic Impactful Programs Count. Each year or each span of time, that particular theme does change. We are all required to complete certain programs throughout the year. Founders Day is a required program. And we'll talk a little bit more about that in just a little bit, but Founders Day is one of our most important programs. We are to observe it annually. The association requires us to conduct programs of service. They include leadership, entrepreneurship, technology and service, as we mentioned before. And then we are focusing on health, education, employment, and economic development. Again, a little bit later, we will share some information with you on these programs. Women's History is another required program that we must do. We must do that in March, and it is timely. We are in March now. We have to complete the Women's History Month as a part of one of our programs. Another very important program that NANBPWC encourages us to participate in is the Vocal Arts Program. And the Vocal Arts Program is held locally first and at the club level, and then it is held on the district level. And those winners that are winners of the club, district winners, and then they advance to a national level. And we have a very, very passionate support, desire to support the arts within our organization. So we'll talk a little bit about how do you become a member. And first would be to participate in an event like this, to learn, first of all, about the organization, the grassroots of how it started, and have an understanding of what the organization is all about. Then what we do is we would ask our candidates, if they are interested, to submit an application. The candidates would submit an application based on a designated deadline date, and then these applications would then be sent forward to the membership chair and then ultimately to the district membership, which is typically the vice governor. And after the applications are reviewed, the local club would then notify the member that their application has been approved, and then would request joining fees by a particular date. And we'll discuss that too a little bit later in this presentation. Once the joining fees have been received, then the application and the joining fees are sent to the national office, and the national headquarters would then review the information and then send out the official notification that the candidate has been approved for membership. Following that, the next important thing that happens is we hold a new membership induction on the local level. And oftentimes the governor may join, as well as the vice governor, where we have the new member inducted and penned during an official ceremony. As of late during the pandemic, all of our events have been virtual. And so at this time, the induction ceremony would also be virtual, unless the national office lifts the ban on in-person meetings. This next slide does share with you the current fees. Although this does state dues from 2019 to 2020, these fees are still current. New members joining fee on for the national level is $125. The district fee is $25, and the local fee is $101. So to become a member for the first time, the new member joining fee is $251. And again, we'll answer any questions that you might have regarding that as well. Thank you so much for listening to this presentation.